secrets from the shadows lane. In the dark, the truth's relentless grinding. Glimmers hope in end time's heavy rain. Wake up now, it's time to heed the calling. Lights crumble down, down the truth is soaring. Prepare your hearts for what's before us. End times rage when we trust. Old roots deep in Mother Earth are crying. Feel a pulse in mountains, wind and flame. Listen close to beat of truth undying. Hear the truth, it's not a silent game. Wake up now, it's time to heed the calling. Lights crumble down, down the truth is soaring. Prepare your hearts for what's before us. End times rage when we trust. Skies will break and seas will rise defying. Hold the light in times of shadows dusk. Watchman song through night's unending sighing. Truth will guide where there is nothing just. Wake up now, it's time to heed the calling. Lights crumble down, down the truth is soaring. Prepare your hearts for what's before us. End times rage when we trust. Skies will break and seas will rise defying. Hold the light in times of shadows dusk. Watchman song through night's unending sighing. Truth will guide where there is nothing just.
Good evening. It's kind of scary what AI can do. That was except for the actual video being put together, that was all AI. The background image that you see up there, that was ChatGPT. Meta AI was me walking, and the song entirely AI from Suno.com. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me that I can just put in a single sentence giving it an idea of what I'm looking for, and it spits out something like that. I mean, it's incredible. So hang on, let me get this. I forgot to take off my little thermal shirt that I wear because I'm a pansy. My great hairdo there. I'm doing something that I haven't done in over a decade. I'm letting my hair grow out. And the process of that is, it never looks good. So, I'm a long hair. And you may not realize that because you've always seen me with short hair. I've always been a long hair my entire life. The only time that wasn't the case is when I was a kid and wasn't in control of my hair. And, I cut it when I had to work different places, McDonald's, Hardee's, stuff like that, when I had to. But aside from that, I've always had long hair. So the Father put the conviction on me to grow my hair back. I'm going to be honest. So I'm doing it. Pain in the butt, but I'm doing it. Because I've got like a lot of hair, except it's like real baby fine. So, anywho, which is kind of funny because there's one of the Meta AI pictures I had it make for me, where I had my head in my hands. It showed I had a bald spot on top of my head. I do not even remotely have a bald spot. I won't go bald. I will never go bald. My hair, I don't think it will ever turn gray. That's if I make it much longer. But I think I could be 80, 90 years old. My hair, I don't believe it turned gray. I've actually got a little bit of Native American in me. And I assume that's where that's where that part of it comes from. Just as much as I don't have it takes me hell to grow facial hair. And I used to, and I've said this before, I used to get made fun of in high school because I don't have a lot of body hair, even like under my underarms, and what was there was really, really blonde. And so you couldn't even really see it. So, of course, they poked fun at me saying I shaved my underarms and all that. And I had hair. I didn't shave them. You just really couldn't see it unless you looked close. Because I didn't have a lot. So, it is what it is. So, I had a monologue, but I'm not going to do it. And the reason why is because anytime it's anything even remotely political, ChatGPT wants to put a leftist spin on it. And I ain't having it. I ain't having it. I like good humor, but they put the leftism in above the humor, and so I'm not going to play that game. It was basically talking about, and it's all outdated now anyway, about this government shutdown thing and this funding bill thing. And if you know me, I'm cheering on the shutdown every single time it comes up. And everybody's losing their minds. Oh my God, the government shut down. Like, it's a good thing. Let them shut down. The best damn thing this country could have happen is let the government shut down. They are the problem. Who will build the roads? I don't know. Who works on your road department in your local area? I would talk to them about building the roads. Might have to take up a collection on getting asphalt or this or that. But if we want to make it happen, we're Americans. We will make it happen. Just saying who will build the roads is a lame, cheap-ass excuse. It's a cop-out, is what it is. It's a cop-out. Who will build the roads? We will build the damn roads. That's who. Plain and simple. I don't know nothing about building roads, but there's folks in town that do it for a living now. Just because the government, isn't paying them, or they aren't showing up to work for the government, doesn't mean that they forgot how to do their job. We'll manage. We'll figure it out. For a hell of a lot less, by the way, than what it costs us through the government. Everything that the government does costs us more. I know. I've worked in different jobs, just working at the hydraulic shop, for instance. And I've talked about this before. When we would get equipment in from Scott Air Force Base, because, we would get the occasional equipment in. Of course, it couldn't be anything related to the actual flying of the aircraft. But let's say it was like a cargo door or something like that. We most certainly would get cylinders in that would operate the cargo doors and stuff like that. And when you seen their bill, it would drop your jaw open. When you sit there all day long and you rebuild cylinders for farmers and for industry and all kinds of stuff, and then all of a sudden you see what the government is getting paid for doing the same damn thing, I was astonished. And when I said something about it to the boss, he's like, we can't charge less. They make us charge that much. They pretty much tell us what we have to charge, and it's way more than what we would charge anybody else. And to me, that was shocking. That wasn't the only industry I've worked in that had government contracts and stuff. So there is so much waste and so much abuse in government. It's a good thing. Shut them down. Shut them down. Don't look forward to them going back. Oh, but who will get this and who will get... We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I thought we were Americans. Where in the hell did that spirit go? We'll figure it out. Right? There are things that they always fearmonger about government shutdowns that aren't even a part of it. Social Security, not a part of it. There's laws in place to make sure that that continues on. It's not even a part of it. So ignore the fear-mongering. Who will build the roads? Who will, Social Security won't get their payments and this and that and the other thing. Ignore it. Ignore it. That's what they use. That is literally the propaganda that they use to get you to call your local Congress member or whatnot and say, man, you got to pass this because they said on the Fox News and they. Calm down. We're Americans. We're supposed to be Americans. Where the hell did that go? Just calm down. We'll figure it out. Well, who's going to defend our borders? Well, who the hell is defending our borders now? Them cocksuckers are trying to sell off the materials to build the wall. You think a government shutdown wouldn't help that situation? Government auctioneers wouldn't show up. I got $2, $2. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't get this whole... And it's all-encompassing. I don't get all the big drama thing. I don't get why we're supposed to get spun up over everything and all freaked out. Oh, my God, drones! My God, people. I'll ask the same question I've been asking since the start of it. What nefarious things are they doing? Oh, they're flying through the sky at night. They're drones. What do you expect them to do? Swim? I mean, they're drones. Calm the fuck down. That's what they do. They fly. It's mind-boggling to me. It really is. I don't get it. I mean, are people that privileged? And I mean that. Are people that privileged that they've got to freak out about every little thing like that because they got nothing better to do? Okay. That's fine, but don't drag my ass into it. That's all I ask. But anyway, this government shutdown. So, you remember what was it? I'm not a big movie guy. Damn it, man. I can't remember which movie it was, but they were playing hockey in the street and it was game on, game off, game on. That's what the spending bill is to me. So apparently, as I'm sure you're well aware, the initial bill, Trump threw a fit, Musk threw a fit, and it got through the fuck out. So they came up, they drafted something else that Trump stood behind. He backed it. And it failed. So that's the latest that I know of. I do have an article up. So I think I got up, to be honest. I do have an article up. Just got to pull my head out of my butt. There we go. Oh, I didn't switch the background image. I'm slacking. See, that was a government job. See what happens when the government loses their funding, man? They don't change the damn background on my screen. Oh. That's it. I'm calling my congressman. Congressperson. I'm sorry. Alright, hang on. Let me close this. I don't know what the hell. Okay, House fails to pass government spending bill, so we're looking at a bunch of children on the ground that look like they're sick or something. Okay then. House Republicans tried and failed Thursday evening to fast-track a measure to keep the government funded through a maneuver that required a two-thirds majority, pushing the government closer to a shutdown. Ooh. I need like little haunted house special effects, don't I? House GOP leaders can still bring it up through regular channels by sending it through committee, and this would enable them to try again to pass it with a simple majority. But dozens of Republicans voted against the measure, while only 2 Democrats voted in favor. The final tally was 174 in favor, 235 against, and 1 present. And I would say that we need to write down the names of every single one of them 235. Lawmakers are racing to avoid a government shutdown when funding runs out on Friday night. The bill, which would keep the government funded through the spring and suspend the nation's debt limit for 2 years, would still need approval from the Democratic-controlled Senate. The White House has indicated that President Biden would not sign the bill. Does he really sign anything? I mean, the dude can't walk. A new deal would extend government funding for 3 months, suspend the debt limit until January 2027, and provide $110 billion in disaster aid. It also includes health care policy extenders, funding for rebuilding Baltimore's Francis Scott Key Bridge, and a renewal of the Farm Bill for 1 year. Why isn't a particular shipping company, paying the bill for that bridge? Just wondering. The House descended into chaos on Wednesday. Chaos, man! When a GOP revolt, spurred by President-elect Donald Trump and Elon Musk, sank the original deal. The House Speaker Mike Johnson was a stupid cocksucker. Had reached with Democrats. Did I say that? I didn't say that. Republicans huddled on Capitol Hill on Thursday, crafting a new way forward without input from Democrats. Look, this is literally how serious I take this. Because the best damn thing that this country could happen would be that the government shut down. Literally, the best thing. Man, it really is insane what they try to hold over on the American people. And they're largely successful. Why? Because they get people emotional. Plain and simple. They get people emotional. And that's the whole long and short of it, right? That's intentional. What I proposed for everybody to do is to be ultra sensitive to that. Be ultra sensitive to whether news media or individuals in government are trying to get you to feel a certain way. And the moment that you detect that, become very suspect. Because you need to. That is how you learn discernment. That's why I don't get involved in all the hype over the drones or all the hype over the funding bill or anything else for that matter. Sure, I might get pissed off, but that's not from propaganda. That's because I see what they're literally trying to pull. For instance, with the drone nightmare. Man, there is a number of reasons they want the little peasants like you and I not to have drones. Number one, they're trying to take over the drone market. Well, right now, a DJI largely has the drone market for both consumer and commercial drones. Largely. Look at your agri-drone business, the drones that are doing spraying for crops and stuff. That's mostly DJI's market, and that's a big damn market right now. Consumer drones, that's about 99% DJI right there. So that's one thing. They got to make everybody fear that a DJI drone is sending a bunch of data back to the CCP, and that is not the case. In fact, it's been proven over and over and over by third-party analysts that that's not going on. So that's one thing. Another thing is, a lot of people were kind of paying a little bit of attention when Ukrainians were starting to strap stuff to regular consumer-grade DJI drones and using them as weapons against the Russians. They can't have you possibly having something like that. So that's another thing to consider. But this last one is the biggest thing to consider as to why they would possibly want to fearmonger the public into being against drones. And that is, we've been fighting it. The people that, the recreational hobbyists with drone flying, the commercial drone flyers, all of us have been fighting this. What is going on is you've got companies like Amazon, Walmart, all kinds of other retailers that are wanting to start doing drone delivery. Well, they certainly don't want us peasants in the way. And that's what a lot of this amounts to. I talked about a guy in Florida that was recently charged for shooting a drone. That drone was owned by a company that was working out services for Walmart to be able to start doing drone delivery from Walmart. That's what they're all getting set up to do. And there's a big concern by these big companies that either will just flat be in the way, or that we will use drones to take down their drones so that we can take the goods. Seriously, you can look into it. That's a big concern of theirs. It's almost never what they're pointing you to, especially when it involves government or big corporations. It's almost never what they're pointing you to. Who's got the drones up there in the skies? Because there are drones. There are drones, just not nearly as many as idiots are claiming that can't tell the difference between a bird, a plane, and a drone. Some of those drones that I've seen pictures and video of are actually from military contractors. That's a fact. You can go match up the drones right on their own websites. There's one that pictures are going around. It's like a helicopter, but it's indeed a drone. That's one, and I can't remember. I don't think it's DARPA. I think it's one of Boeing's. DARPA's got them too. There's several government contractors that have different style drones for different purposes. Are they checking radiation levels? With a drone? Get real. Seriously, get real. They use planes for that. And that's for when they need to get up close and personal to do some serious sniffing. They use planes for that. And they do it all the time, by the way. All the frickin' time. This time isn't anything special. They also can monitor stuff like that from space. Satellites. Satellites are constantly scanning. Now, they can't pinpoint as well as them getting up in a Cessna 172 or something like that, or even something a little bigger, and using those aircraft to sniff for different, whether it be chemical, radiological, what have you. They don't use drones. Not for that. Not for that. I'm not saying that they don't use drones to do any type of aerial data gathering, if you will. And that data can be a wide range of things. Um, they can do, they can use drones. I think they use them quite a bit now for ground penetrating radar. But they don't use small drones. And when I say small drones, I'm even meaning the drones that people are seeing. They don't use those. They don't use those. They use something a little larger than that. They use stuff that's more akin to stuff like Predator and the other ones that are, have props and stuff. I don't know all the different names of all the different drones. But they use those style of drones. Why? Because of how long they can stay up in the air. And I know that that's one of the claims with these other drones that people are seeing. The actual drones that people are saying is that they stay up in the air for an incredible amount of time. Okay? I would venture to say that whoever's drones they are, they're getting better. I'm not freaked out about it. And even in the consumer drone market, they're getting better. They're making drones that will fly faster, stay up longer, the whole 9 yards, take better pictures. It's constantly evolving. And there's a lot of things that you can even do on the consumer/commercial end applications when it comes to drones. I'm talking about like enterprise level drones and stuff like that from DJI and stuff. You can do all kinds of stuff with that. You can do mapping. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff. It's kind of pretty cool. I wished I could do it with my Mavic Air 2, but even the third-party software doesn't work with it's strictly a consumer grade. One step up from toy grade. And that's no joke. One step up from toy grade. $1,200 toy. But, yeah. Well, that's what it was when it came out. Had to have coffee. Man. I just keep seeing Little Ruby. I like Little Ruby. What's Little Ruby, you might ask? Let me show you Little Ruby. Have to unzoom it though. Little Ruby. It's Cletus McFarlane's car, his little Corvette. I guess they just put another engine in it and they're playing around with it. And yeah, it's a vet. I like vets. Looks like it's a pretty badass car. I know I did catch a video to where they did I think it was like a 7.7 second run. Unfreaking believable. That guy's a trip, by the way. I like watching Cletus McFarlane. That guy's a trip. And I like him because the guy doesn't have an ego. Right? He's just having fun. It's not about him showing off. It's not about... He just wants to have fun. And that's, I think, why I like it. And like watching him so much is because that's what his focus is. Having fun. That's it. And I respect that. Absolutely respect that. Well, anyway, if anybody's got anything else that's been in the news they want to discuss, just throw it in chat. I pretty much, that's all I had up because, it's kind of slow right now in news. We're leading up to the Christmas holiday and all that. And news kind of starts to taper off a little bit. And, a lot of the stuff is just going over the same damn things over and over and over. Not a whole lot new, aside from drones and spending bills, that's going on right now. Of course, countries like Russia, Ukraine, all that, they're still doing all their nonsense. But let's see. Ukraine hit Russia again with both, I think, U.S. ATACMS and Storm Shadows both. Blinken says we spent $100 billion in Ukraine. $100 billion with a big ass B. That's insane. That's insane. It's mind blowing to me. All the people in this country that are really having a hard time making ends meet. Good, hard-working people can barely buy enough food to feed their families, can barely afford the outrageous energy bills, insurance rates that went through the roof, not to mention property taxes that went through the roof. But instead of us doing what we can to ease the burden on the American people, we're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine like it's nothing. And then we, the American taxpayer, gets to pay that tab. And what tab that we can't pay of it gets passed down to our children and our grandchildren and so on and so forth. It's maddening. It's maddening. I really do hope, I really do hope that Musk gets in there along with Vivaswamy, however you say his name, Vivek Ramaswamy. So something like, hell, I don't know, that guy. I hope they get in there and they clean the house. I really do. And I know that that's going to be a lot of fear. There's going to be a lot of fear-mongering with that. And I'll warn you for that. Vivek Ramaswamy. That's what it is, I think. Anyway. There's going to be a lot of fear-mongering with it. The left is going to be trying to, and some of the right's going to be trying to tell everybody that everything good and holy is going to be taken away. Just be prepared for that. Oh, let's see. A lot of crazy stuff. There is an article here. U.S. admits attempts at regime change in Iran. I mean, we already knew that. But actually being put out there is a whole different level. Crazy stuff happening here kind of locally. On the same day, over in Missouri, just across the river, there were two instances the same day, unrelated instances. The towns were just miles apart, of a young men killing their fathers. I mean, it was crazy. The one got into an altercation. In both cases, there was known family issues with the kid. In the one instance, kid moves back home. And neighbors report hearing all kinds of hell being raised. You know, the kid screaming at his parents and stuff like that. Don't know the details of where he got the gun or anything else, but he got a gun, shot his dad, killed his dad. And the other incident, another case to where guy moved back home. And another incident to where, you know, known for being big arguments and stuff like that. And dude, like, stabbed his dad like 50 times. And when they examined the body, they said that there was there were broken bones, of course, the stab wounds, broken bones, evidence of strangulation. I mean, insane. Now, there wasn't anything much more on the motive of that. And there wasn't a lot of comment as to anything else regarding that one. Now, the kid that shot his dad, neighbors said that the dad seemed like a great guy. They said that they'd never heard him raise his voice or anything else. He was always calm. He was always nice. He was on, you know. And it's like, damn, what in the hell is going on? It's mind-blowing. And that's something that just happened just recently. And it's another reason why I tell people, stop getting so worked up over everything. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for the situation. It's just not. I intend to be as mellow as I can, as much as I can. Because why? I mean, in my opinion, part of getting all emotional over stuff is trying to show your ass. It's attention seeking. Oh, well, I'm mad. Big fucking deal. Everybody gets mad. I get mad too. But I'm not going to run around and act like a child. That doesn't, in fact, I was talking Facebook group on Flight Sim. The new Flight Sim is incredible. Awesome. It's got bugs. The Flight Sim always has bugs when it comes out. If you're a veteran of Flight Sim, you know this. And like usual, like every release, you got kids adults acting like kids throwing temper tantrums. I mean, you're talking about there are individuals that when they go to play Flight Sim, they literally put on like the shirt with the shoulder thing with the damn bars on it and the captain's hat and all. I mean, supposed to be full-grown mature adults. And it's like, see that right there, that's a problem. My opinion, that's a problem. If somebody's doing that to go sit down at a computer and play a game, they need to have their mental health looked into. Because there's something about, I love aviation, right? But I sought out aviation. I didn't seek out pretending to be something. I sought it out. When FSX was my first flight sim. And I didn't go don a captain's hat or anything like that. I started going to the local airfields. And before I knew it, I was flying ultralight airplanes. Because, I mean, it's the sim is great at the computer, nothing wrong with it at all. But putting on a fancy costume isn't getting me any closer to the real thing whatsoever. Some people might say, well, an ultralight's not a real airplane. It got my wings wet. Airplane enough for me. Got me in the air with me at the controls. It's a lot more than putting on a damn goofy shirt and a goofy hat. Calling myself captain. But whatever. I'm somebody that's about doing things, not pretending. Anyway, really don't know what else to cover. 20 till, like I say, there's not. I mean, yeah, I can give you fluff, but you probably get that enough places. And I'm not talking about that kind of fluff. Get your mind out of the gutter. There's a Amazon strike, not like Amazon wide, but there's, I don't know, I saw the number of 7, I saw the number of 10 locations of individuals, and I thought it was interesting, because an article I read on it said something about, now this was an Amazon person's point of view, more or less saying that and if this is correct, then correct me, but it sounds awful damn silly to me. The claim was that the unions were more or less strong-arming the employees. It doesn't make sense. That's like I read another article today talking about the situation going on in Ukraine, and it mentioned I think 4 different. I'm gonna say the word districts. That's probably not the right word, so bear with me on that. But like 4 areas voted overwhelmingly to be a part of Russia. Now, I'm assuming that this is going to include the Donbass and the Zaporozhye and all that, right? The same places that Russia has taken control of. And I'm like, and in the article, they even mentioned the word democratic. And it's like, well, wait a minute. If this is about democracy, and they overwhelmingly voted to be a part of Russia, then denying them that is anti-democracy. So it just doesn't make sense. And I was that way from the start of the whole get-go. I didn't get my titties all up in a bunch because I didn't get my titties all up in a bunch because I had a feeling that that's what it boiled down to. You had these areas to where the people wanted to be a part of Russia. And that's it. So, you know, when you look at it realistically, and you look at it by what the people want, it gives you a whole new aspect. Right on. Oh, it's most certainly real enough to get you killed. Yeah, it's no doubt about that. Unfortunately, there's a fair amount of that in ultralight aviation, but you know that. Man, that'd be fun. A Rand's Coyote? That would be fun. There was one that I always wanted to try. At least once. What was it called? The Mini-Max? I think it was called the Mini-Max. And that thing looked like it'd be a lot of fun, but man, that also looked like the engine quit, you were flying a brick. So, better be good at flying bricks. I think it was called the Mini-Max. I know there was an ultralight version of it, and then a light sport version of it, largely depending on the motor you put on it. The ultralight, I think, had the Rotax 447, and was it 477? Hell, I don't remember. And then like the 503 Rotax and the half VW engine or whatever, that was the LSA version. Mini-Max. Let me pull one up. Now, there was also another one that I really, really wanted, would love to have, and it was like a mini version of a J3 Cub, but it was an ultralight. It was an ultralight. I believe I can fly. No, I can't. Wouldn't. Not without a plane, anyway. Hang on. There we go. I'll get it one way or another. I believe that's the ultralight version of the Mini-Max. The non-ultralight version is a little fancier. like that. That's the light sport version, and then that's the ultralight version. So I don't know if you call that a rail type plane or what, but they look dangerous. Again, they didn't have a real good glide performance, that's for sure. That one I showed you probably actually isn't a true 103 because it's got wheel pants and all that other stuff. The 103 was pretty basic, pretty stripped down. um, huh. Yeah, that's an 1100R. I don't think that one's the ultralight version. FAR 103. The other one I showed was the 1600R. So I don't remember which model was the actual FAR 103 version. There was one though, but there was one called was it called a kitten or something like that? It looked just like a J3 Cub, or I should probably say, an L3, the military version of a J3 Cub, except it was smaller. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, there was a guy at the airfield that had one. He didn't have the ultralight version. His had the 503 Rotax and all the goodies on it, so it was quite a bit heavier than 254 pounds empty weight, but beautiful plane. It was painted up just like a military version. Joe was his name. Oh man, that was a cool aircraft. I probably have a picture or two of it somewhere. I do believe I've got a picture of it with my son Brett sitting inside of it somewhere. At least I used to. So that was a cool little plane. Cool little plane. Huh, man. I'll tell you though. I'll tell you, I crashed my cargo plane in Flight Sim today. That was upsetting. It totally screwed up my rating as far as you get like a grade rating, and once you get past A, you get into S, whatever the hell S stands for, and you really get good bonuses when you're in the S range. So not only did I lose that, and I'm back now just a freaking A student, or an A pilot, and it takes a long time to get back to the S. But I lost my damn plane, and they're not cheap. So I gotta fly a bunch of crappy jobs in order to make money up to buy another plane. So I learned my lesson though. Patrick warned me. He done crashed one and warned me about the insurance thing, because you can get like liability, middle coverage, and full coverage insurance on your plane. And of course, just like in the real world, liability was what I was all about. And so they, gave me a very little scrap value for the thing after I slammed it into the ground. So that is, I'll tell you what, I never thought for a second I would enjoy doing the career mode as much as I do. That is a blast. It gives you something continuous to work towards and to build on. And the biggest reason why I didn't fly Flight Sim 2020 a whole lot, for one, it stuttered like crazy, but also it was boring. It was so damn boring. I mean, yeah, you got to fly around, but there was really no good way to interact with any other people. This actually gives you some tools to be able to communicate with other people, both chat and voice, except it's stupid. You have to be in a group with them. That's totally freaking stupid. FSX, back during the FSX days, they literally used the aircraft radios. So anybody that was tuned into the same, radio frequency on the aircraft radios could communicate. And by default, when you spawned in, everybody would be on the same frequency. So you could just talk away. And if you wanted to go with your buddies and have your own private conversation or whatever, you just changed to a frequency that you agreed on. That was cool. And they took that away. That was the dumbest damn thing. I don't know why. But there was nothing. I mean, okay, so you can't communicate with other people very easily. All you do is just fly around like a tard. That's pretty much all you could do. And that gets boring. So this gives you something that you can do. Plus, if you do want to communicate with other people, there are ways to be able to do it. I think you can click a button and all the aircraft that are around you will show up in that menu. And if you see somebody you want to contact, you just click their name, send them a friend request thing or whatever. Invite them to a group, whatever, So at least they give you a way, even if it is kind of cheesy. They at least give you a way. Man, I hear you on the energy. It's I can only imagine. You've got several years on me. Today I went to go lay down and take a nap. It didn't work out so successful, but that's crazy. I've never had to do that before, and I get so damn worn out. It's unreal. Sucks. But I think I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here on that note, because I would like to get to bed sometime soon. Not sleeping the best and all that, and I can't, if I get woke up in the middle of the night, I can't get back to sleep. I'm done. And so that sucks. And then this morning I tried my ass off to get back to sleep, and I just tossed and turned. I hurt so bad, so it is what it is. But I'm gonna get off here, and I guess we'll see you guys on Sunday. I'm probably, I don't know what day Christmas falls on, not that we celebrate, but I probably won't do a show Christmas night. Probably take that night off. I see it's on a Wednesday. So yeah, I will certainly be back Sunday, so. Oh wow, that's crazy. Using the arrow keys to control the plane, I can only imagine. I can only imagine. When I bought FSX, the first flight sim I flew, I tried using the keyboard and the mouse, and that lasted for about, maybe 5 minutes. And I'm back in the car going to Walmart to get me a flight stick. I get paid 30-something bucks or whatever for a cheap flight stick, and I used that flight stick for quite a while. And then that's when I got my X-52, and I got spoiled. So, thankfully, I'm blessed with the opportunity to get another X-52, although Logitech owns it now instead of SciTech. And for the first time in my life, I actually got rudder pedals. And yeah, it's a lot better. It is much, much better. So, anyway, I am out of here, and I will be back Sunday night. I hope everybody has a good evening. Hope you have a good weekend. And hopefully things don't get too crazy between now and then. Alrighty, folks. I have a good one. Keep it safe. And we'll see you Sunday night. Shalom.